Ever wonder if she's dropping hints she's totally into you but just isn't saying it out loud? Well, you're in the right place today. We're breaking down 8 subtle touches that mean she wants you bad, but she's keeping it on the sly, from those lingering hand grazes to accidental nudges. These are the signs you don't want to miss, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more flirty tips like this one. Now let's get started. 1. The light arm touch. You're mid-conversation, sharing a laugh or swapping fascinating stories, and suddenly her hand grazes your arm just for a second. Maybe she's laughing at your joke lightly, tapping your bicep in delight, or emphasizing a point with a brush of her fingers. It's subtle, it's casual, but trust me, it's deliberate. The light arm touch is one of her ways of testing the waters. Why does this fleeting contact matter? Because the arm is a safe zone, non-threatening, non-intimidating, but still intimate enough to break the invisible wall of personal space. When she touches your arm, it means she's comfortable, intrigued, and possibly trying to signal that her interest in you goes beyond casual chatter. This isn't just happenstance, it's an invitation to notice her interest rest. She might not say it outright, but her body language is doing all the talking. She's testing your response. Will you lean in, laugh, make an equally flirty move in return, or worse, pull away? The way you react can influence what happens next. If you welcome her touch, maybe with a smile, a playful comment, or even a light touchback, she knows you're in the game. A positive response encourages her to take things further, upping the level of connection between you two. But if you pull away or ignore it altogether, she could interpret the subtle rejection as disinterest and back off. The light arm touch is sweet, but loaded with potential. She's bridging the physical gap between you, testing the waters to see if you're open to something more. Pay attention, read the moment, and if the spark is mutual, don't be afraid to follow her lead. Sometimes the smallest jest speak volumes about her intentions. 2. The playful push. The playful push. It's not just a random shove. It's a classic move in the game of attraction. Picture this scenario: you're in the middle of a fun, teasing conversation, maybe cracking a harmless joke or calling her out on that time she got a little too competitive at trivia night. Suddenly, she reaches over and gives you a light push on your arm or shoulder, all while laughing and keeping eye contact. If this happens, make no mistake, this is not an accident. Welcome to Flirt. Bill the playful pushes her way of testing the waters. It's a move that says, I'm comfortable enough to touch you, but I'm going to keep it casual, so you won't call me out on it. Breaking the touch barrier, in this light-hearted way, allows her to gauge your reaction. Do you smirk? Push her back playfully, flirtatiously. Grab her hand. If you pass this invisible litmus test, you might be on the fast track to something more. But why does she do it? Because this small gesture adds just the right amount of spark to make things interesting. It's loaded with a mix of attraction, curiosity, and a little hint of shyness. After all, not all women are going to come right out and say, hey, I like you, but this small physical connection speaks volumes. The key is how she follows up. The push is almost always accompanied by laughter, a smile, or a cheek comment. These are signals that she's having fun and enjoying the vibes between you two. Now your job: respond and kind, give her a playful nudge back, or lean in to deepen the conversation. Remember, flirting is all about a little give and take, so match her energy and humor while subtly showing her you're just as interested. And trust me, if she's giving you that playful peep push, she wants to keep the chemistry sizzling. 3. The knee touch. The knee touch, subtle yet oh so powerful. You're sitting next to her, maybe engrossed in a conversation or laughing at some silly joke, when suddenly her hand grazes your knee. It could be just for a second, fleeting enough to seem casual, but make no mistake, this is not accidental. A move like this screams one thing loud and clear without saying a word. She's testing the waters for something more. The knee touch might feel like a light, almost innocent gesture, but don't underestimate its impact. It's a deliberate move that takes the conversation from friend-friendly territory into something much more thrilling. Why? Because the knee is just neutral enough to not seem overly forward, but close enough to spark a connection of unmistakable chemistry. It's her way of saying I feel comfortable with you while also leaving the door wide open for you to make the next move. Usually this touch happens when you're sitting side by side, perhaps on a most older. Men assume that when a younger woman smiles at them, it's out of politeness or worse, that it's meaningless. They dismiss it thinking she's just being friendly or she's probably smiling at everyone. But what if that assumption is what's actually keeping you from seeing the hidden truth? The reality, there's often a deeper reason behind those smiles, one that most men completely overlook. And once you recognize it, you'll never second-guess yourself again. If you've ever wondered whether a younger woman was flirting or just being nice, this video is for you. Let's break it down and uncover what's really happening. 1. She admires your confidence picture. This, you're standing in line at a coffee shop, relaxed, composed, maybe even dressed in a way that subtly says, I've got my life together. A younger woman glances your way and smiles. You assume it's just a casual, friendly gesture. But here's what's actually happening. She's noticing your self-assurance, unlike younger men who are still figuring themselves out. Older men tend to carry a quiet confidence. You don't second-guess yourself. You don't try too hard to impress. And that effortless self-possession, it's magnetic. Let's be honest. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities anyone can have, and that smile is. It's a silent nod of appreciation. She might not even realize she's doing it. But trust me, it's happening. 2. You stand out from the crowd. Younger women are used to interacting with men their own age. Guys who more often than not are still trying to establish their identity. Many are glued to their phones, fidgeting nervously or awkwardly, searching for the perfect thing to say. And then you walk in. You're not anxiously adjusting your shirt every 2 seconds. You're not laughing too loudly to fill the silence. You're simply existing. Calm, composed, and completely in your element. She notices the way you hold eye contact when you speak, the way you don't force a joke every 5 seconds, the way you're not desperately seeking approval from everyone around you. That smile. It's her recognizing that you feel different from the usual guys she encounters. And that difference intrigues her. 3. You radiate stability. Here's something most older men don't realize. Stability is incredibly attractive. And no, we're not just talking about financial stability, though. That certainly doesn't hurt. We're talking about emotional and mental stability. The kind of steadiness that makes people feel safe when a younger woman smiles at you. It's often because she senses that you're someone who has been through life, learned from it, and come out the other side with wisdom. You don't get rattled by the little things. You don't overreact or play unnecessary games in a world where so many people are still figuring themselves out. That kind of grounded energy stands out. That smile, it's a sub-IOU's way of saying, wow, I feel safe around you, even if she's not actively looking for anything. That feeling of stability is enough to make her notice you in a way she wouldn't with someone her own age, for she finds experience attractive. Let's talk about something. A lot of older men underestimate the power of experience. When a younger woman smiles at you, she might be thinking, he probably knows how to have a real conversation. He looks like the type of guy who actually knows what he's doing in life. Younger men, in their effort to impress, often focus on proving themselves. They try hard to be the loudest, the funniest. The most entertaining older men, on the other hand, tend to focus on enjoying life. And that's a massive difference, one that younger women pick up on instantly. The smile she gives you. It's not just about attraction, it's about curiosity. She wonders, what stories could he tell? What lessons has he learned? What kind of presence does he bring into a room? And that curiosity, it's powerful. 5. She's testing the waters. Now let's get a little psychological. Some younger women smile at older men just to see their reaction. It's not necessarily because she wants something, but because she's intrigued by the dynamic. Will you smile back? Will you look flustered? Will you exude quiet confidence? It's almost like an unconscious way of saying, are you as interesting as I think you are? If you respond with the same level of warmth and assurance, it reinforces her interest. If you ignore it or look away awkwardly, she might assume she misread the moment and move on. That smile. It's a small but powerful social test, one that many older men don't even realize is happening. 6. She genuinely finds you attractive. And finally, let's state the obvious. Sometimes younger women smile at older men simply because they find them attractive. The salt and pepper hair, the way you dress, the calmness in your demeanor, the quiet confidence that comes with knowing who you are. Society often tells older men that are there without a single word being uttered. When a woman places her hand on your back, it's not a coincidence, it's a deliberate act of connection. This isn't just a friendly pat or casual brush. This touch carries her interest wrapped up in quiet confidence. Picture this. You're walking through a crowded space, and she gently guides you with her hand on your back. That touch. It's full of intention, whether it's leading you through a doorway, standing close in a dimly lit room, or casually resting her hand there as you chat. It's her soft, unspoken way of saying she's got her eye on you. Her hand lingering on your back creates a connection, a signal that she's comfortable being physically near you, and maybe even wants you to notice how her presence feels just as much as she notices yours. Why does she do it? You ask. It's because this touch is protective yet intimate, a way to show she wants to take care of you in her own way. There's also an element of trust here. She's willing to break the invisible barrier of personal space to reach out to you. It's her way of saying, I feel good around you and I want you to know it. This action is so much more than a fleeting gesture. It's an open door to her feelings. Now, how should you respond? The key here is awareness. If she's placed her hand on your back, recognize it for what it is, a signal of closeness and connection. Lean into that trust. You can reciprocate casually by smiling, making eye contact, or even returning the touch in natural, nonchalant way. Slide your hand up to briefly touch hers, or perhaps place your hand lightly on her back. In response, it's all about matching her energy while keeping things flirty yet respectful. The back touch is her way of saying she's drawn to you. Don't brush it off as nothing. Instead, see it for what it is. Her way of getting closer, both emotionally and physically. If you read the moment right, it might just lead to something even more electrifying. 7. The shoulder lean. The infamous shoulder lean, such a subtle move yet packed with powerful meaning. Pie to this, you're sitting next to her on the couch sharing a laugh, or perhaps walking side by side when she suddenly lets her head rest gently on your shoulder. It may last for just a few seconds, but trust me, there's nothing accidental about it. This is not just a casual move. It's her way of saying, hey, I feel safe with you, without actually uttering a single word. And what's sexier than someone trusting you with that kind of vulnerability? The shoulder lean usually happens in moments of class when the two of you are relaxed, engaged in a meaningful conversation, or even just sitting in comfortable silence, soaking in each other's presence. It's subtle. Yes, but its meaning is deeply intimate. This touch speaks louder than kissing or hand-holding. Sometimes it hints at her desire to connect with you on a deeper emotional level. For her, leaning into your shoulder is a COI little escape, a silent signal that she craves closeness, and not just physically. Why does she do it? Simple. She's letting her guard down. It takes a lot to open up emotionally, and by making this affectionate gesture, she's showing you just how much trust and warmth she feels toward you. It's not just about balance or comfort. It's about saying, I'm comfortable enough with you to lean on you in more ways than one. The way you respond, oh, this is where you shine. Don't overthink it. Just relax and enjoy the moment. Subtly shift your position to accommodate her. Maybe even rest your head lightly against her, as if it feels right. Show her you're equally comfortable with this closeness, and she'll feel even more drawn to you. After all, the shoulder lean isn't just flirtation. It's an unspoken invitation to something much deeper. You've got her attention now. It's your move. 8. The leg brush. The leg brush subtlety at its finest. This move belongs in the Hall of Fame of flouse behavior. Picture this: you're sitting close to her, perhaps at a cozy table for two, or maybe you're crammed into a booth with friends. Then it happens, her leg lightly grazes yours. At first you might think it's an accident, and it could be. But when it happens a second time and then a third, it's no coincidence. It's a carefully calculated move to dip her toes, pun intended, into the waters of physical intimacy. The leg brush is nonverbal communication served with a healthy dash of cheekiness. There's a thrill to touching without making it too direct or obvious for her. It's about bridging the physical gap between you two, While gauging your reaction if you tense up or move away, she'll likely take that as a signal to pump the brakes. But if you relax, or even lean into the situation, you're giving her the green light to keep escalating the chemistry. Why does she do it well? It could mean she's feeling bold and wants to subtly show her interest without outright saying it. The leg brush is her way of testing the waters, a playful way to flirt while keeping things light and fun. It's intimate enough to grab your attention, but not so forward that it risks being too much. To too soon trust us, if she's brushing her leg against yours. Intentionally, she's inviting you into her little world of flirty fun. The key to responding is just as understated as her move. Don't overreact or draw attention to it. Instead, see how you feel about it. If you're just as interested, keep the contact, maybe gently press your leg back against hers. She'll notice and love the reciprocation. Whatever you do, remember to stay confident. This isn't about making a big declaration. It's about sharing an unspoken moment full of playful tension that says more than words. Could sometimes sparks start with the lightest touch, or in this case, the soft brush of a leg. Inclusion physical touches can speak volumes when words fall short, and deciphering these subtle cues can deepen your connection. Whether it's the light touch on your back, the cozy lean on your shoulder, or the playful bright brush of her leg, every gesture carries a hidden layer of meaning. The key to understanding these signs is staying present, attuned, and confident in your interactions. Remember, it's not just about noticing the touch. It's about reading the intent behind it and responding in a way that fosters intimacy and mutual comfort. These moments may seem small, but they pave the way for something much more meaningful. Stay open to the signals and you might just unlock a deeper bond she's been waiting to share.